Welcome back for another video. Today, we're going to be talking about the top 8 running back duos in the league. Okay, there are 32 teams. So when we're talking about the top 8, we're getting a little nitpicky. Okay, all these duos are really good. I expect all these duos to have some success in 2023. And we're going to start here with number 8. That's going to be the Eagles duo of DeAndre Swift and Kenneth Gainwell. Now, you can also say DeAndre Swift, Rashad Penny. Who knows how that's going to work out? That could change from game to game. Right, you look at Swift and Penny, who are probably the two most talented running backs that they actually have. They're both great when they're healthy. They missed a combined 15 games last season, and neither of them has ever had more than 151 carries in a season because their availability just hasn't been there. Kenneth Gainwell is one of the most dependable backups in the league, which is what helps hold up this ranking. The fact that he's going to be available. You go down the depth chart, they have other running backs. If these guys get hurt, DeAndre Swift, Rashad Penny, if they're not there, then they still have Boston Scott on the roster also. So, they have guys, they obviously wouldn't be the talent level of DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny. But if we're talking about when guys are healthy, going into the 2023 season, I expect DeAndre Swift, Rashad Penny to be in the top 8 running back duos in the NFL. They come in at number 8 for me. 7 is going to be the Jags with Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby. JaMycal Hasty, you could factor him in. It's kind of the same situation as Kenneth Gainwell. I think Tank Bigsby probably going to be the number 2 in this offense at running back. But you look at Travis Etienne, he finally got on the field last year and showed that the hype was real. This was a guy coming out of college. I was one of the people saying he is immensely talented, deserved to be picked in the first round, and that the Jags were smart for doing so. And he came in, proved everybody right. Had to miss his rookie season due to injury, but came in and looked amazing last year as a lead running back, especially in that Doug Peterson offense, which loves using the running backs. He can do everything at an elite level. So being in that Doug Peterson offense, he's a perfect fit for that offense. Doug Peterson was a perfect coach to come in and be his coach. Okay, then they draft Tank Bigsby in 2023, but he's likely to have a role kind of like A.J. Dillon. If you think about A.J. Dillon in his rookie season, it was goal line touches and short yardage situations. I think the Jags can get a lot of that same production from Tank Bigsby and then some. Again, because of that Doug Peterson offense and what that offense is, I think Tank Bigsby is going to have a pretty good role in that offense. So, ETN is holding this ranking up. We don't know if Tank Bigsby's actually going to be good. I'm just assuming he's going to be really good. I think he'll be a good NFL player. So for me, the Jags rank at number 7 in running back duos going into the 2023 season. Number 6 duo going into 2023 is going to be the Detroit Lions with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Okay, I expect Jahmyr Gibbs to be an absolute superstar. He can do everything. He's fast. He's a little smaller, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think Jahmyr Gibbs has been NFL ready for a little while. And coming in, he's the type of player that's just meant to be great. Look at the offense he's going into. Okay, and look at the versatility that he's going to be able to bring to that offense. They were one of the best offenses last year. He's coming in, going to be able to have an immediate impact. I think he's going to be better than DeAndre Swift was. Okay, DeAndre Swift, when he was healthy, was good for the Lions. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be great. He's going to be great immediately. Like offensive rookie of the year conversation, like Jahmyr Gibbs, going to be good. And then you have David Montgomery behind him, which is very impressive. He made something out of nothing being in Chicago behind an offensive line that was trash, quarterback play that was never up to par. Maybe the best backup running back in the NFL. Definitely in that conversation. Okay, this duo after 2023 could rank higher, and I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But because it has a rookie, I'm going to keep him at number 6 going into 2023. Number 5, it's going to be the Ravens, J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Okay, in 2022, Dobbins averaged 5 yards per carry, which was the least of all the Ravens running backs, which is crazy. Like that stat in itself is kind of crazy. Just shows you how effective the Ravens are at running the football. All right. And you got to think he was also coming off a torn ACL. And for those first few weeks, clearly wasn't himself. Coming in, J.K. Dobbins going into 2023, coming in healthy, coming in as himself. If he can get back to the J.K. Dobbins of before he got hurt, he could be one of the best running backs in the league, could be a top 10 running back in the league. He has that kind of talent. And being in that Ravens offense, he could be a difference maker for them. And then you have Gus Edwards, who's had to have a starting role because of different injuries that have happened, especially when J.K. Dobbins went down. And he's shown that he has plenty of talent to make things work. Again, in that Ravens offense, a lot of running backs have made stuff happen and not been able to do stuff anywhere else. So I know that kind of affects things. I know having Lamar Jackson there kind of helps these running backs, but both these guys have shown that they can be guys that could have 1,000 yards in the NFL if they had to have starting roles in this offense. So for me, the Ravens had to be somewhere in the top 8. They end up at number 5 for me. Number 4 is going to be the Saints with Alvin Kamara and Jamal Williams. Alvin Kamara showed that he still has it last season, but he could end up missing time this year. Possible suspension, probable suspension that's going to happen from the incident that happened while he was in Las Vegas at the Pro Bowl. All right, that's going to hurt his stats, but not his talent, which is why I'm keeping him on this list. Okay. Having Williams as a backup is going to take a lot of pressure off of Alvin Kamara because Williams last year, while he was in Detroit, scored 18 touchdowns as the number 2 running back behind DeAndre Swift. Okay, so he's capable of having an impact, and you know what his impact can be. Like, he's a dog. He runs hard. He's going to give you everything he has while he's out there. He can be a pass catching back if you need him to be, right? So while Alvin Kamara is away, he's a good back to have. And then when Alvin Kamara comes back, this is easily a top 5 duo in the NFL, in my opinion, in 2023. And for me, they're the number 4 duo. Okay, coming in at number 3 is going to be the Indianapolis Colts with Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss. Okay, JT is in the conversation for the best running backs in the league when he's healthy. Last year, he got hurt and he missed a lot of the season last year, but still ended up with over 800 yards, I think it was, in an offense that was absolute trash. Right, the thing about Zach Moss, he looked better than he ever has after he got traded to the Colts. You know, Jonathan Taylor was missing time, so was Zach Moss and Deion Jackson. And Zach Moss looked pretty good. If you go back and watch those games, you go back and look at the stats, Zach Moss did pretty good again, even though that offense was absolute trash. So while JT is obviously holding this ranking up quite a bit because he's one of the best running backs in the league, Zach Moss and what he could be in this offense, especially with Anthony Richardson coming in, it's a no-brainer that these guys should be on this list somewhere. And for me, number 3 felt like the right spot. All right, coming in at number 2 for the 2023 season, it's going to be the 49ers with Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell. All right, CMC is probably the most dynamic running back of our generation, like our entire generation. We've had some good ones. All right, you think back to LaDainian Tomlinson, it's really comparable to LaDainian Tomlinson. Now, the availability for Christian McCaffrey isn't the same as what it was for LT, but what he does when he's healthy, very comparable, maybe even better than LT. All right, if he's healthy, he's one of the most valuable football players in all of football. And then you look at his backup, Elijah Mitchell is one of the best backups in the league and could be a suitable starter if CMC misses time. Now, again, injury issues because it's the 49ers and it's the 49ers running backs. That's just how it goes with them, especially in an offense that runs a lot. There's a lot of injury risk, but as long as both of these guys are healthy, this is easily a top 2 duo in the league. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people said that they were the number 1 duo in the NFL. But for me, the number 1 duo in the NFL is going to be for the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. You know, Jones is consistent and doesn't miss much time at all. He had 1,121 yards in 2022 when the Packers offense wasn't doing much, and A.J. Dillon was getting more work than he ever has in the past. All right, then you think about A.J. Dillon. He's a tank. We all know A.J. Dillon is absolute tank. And even though his yards after contact has gone down every season, he looks better and better on tape every single season. Okay, so Jones in his own right is a top 10 running back, and I think Dillon is in the conversation for the best backup in the league, might be the best backup in the league. And after his contract is done with Green Bay, is probably going to go and be a number 1 running back for somebody in the NFL and be really effective doing so. So for me, I think the obvious choice for the best running back duo in the NFL is the Packers with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. I would love to know what you think of these rankings. Who do you think is the best duo in the league? You let me know down in the comments. Let's talk about it. All right, and don't forget to subscribe. Keep coming back for more off-season content. We'll see you for the next video.